I'm John McQuay with 8541 Tactical. I'm here today to talk to you about a new product that we received from Taskforce4 LLC called DIALandSHOOT. DIALandSHOOT are ballistically calibrated labels for your rifle and your scope. Now, I know you guys have seen BDC turrets before on varying different rifle scopes. Several manufacturers make them, and some of the big scope manufacturers will allow you to send your data in and get your scope turret engraved for your information. That's all well and good, but any of you that study ballistics for any amount of time know that the ballistic curve of your rifle will change depending upon your elevation, your barometric pressure, and your temperature. So where you shoot or what time of the year you're shooting at can make a drastic difference on the ballistic curve of your rifle. So if you want to stay up on it and you want it to be perfect, you would actually have to have several different turrets engraved for the scope so you can swap them out as the conditions change. Well, the guys at Taskforce4 LLC realized this, and they came up with an innovative new product. DIALandSHOOT are simply Mylar labels that you can attach on your current rifle scope turret. Now, in front of me, this is a Schmidt & Bender 5-25 PM2 rifle scope with a mill turret. All you do is you take your DIALandSHOOT label, you peel off the backing, and it tells you even on the label to start at the 1 mark. So I'm going to turn the turret here slightly so I can see it. Start off by sticking our label on the 1 mark there. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of tension and wrap the label on around and push it back down on itself. Now this one's kind of beat up a little bit because I've been doing this a couple of times to practice it. Now, if you've done this correctly, then once you get it back wrapped around here, your 0 mark lines up perfectly with your 0. These are set up for a 100-yard 0, so your next mark is 2. And if you dial up to 2, that corresponds right with your 200-yard 0. 3 for 300, 4 for 400. The bold numbers around the bottom will just correspond with your yard lines. For instance, if you look at the 2 and you come up to the top here, that is actually half mil. Half mil is the correct dope for the M118 LR, which is what we had these set up for our AR-10. The labels are extremely easy to put on. They go on quickly and they come off quickly. Since they're made of Mylar, they don't stretch, so if you use a little bit of tension putting them on, not to get any wrinkles and to get everything lined up, it doesn't stretch them out and mess up your scale. You're still lined up. When you peel them off, they're easy to peel off and they don't leave any sticky residue behind, so you're not rubbing junk off or having to pick off little bits of sticker. The labels come off very easily, and you can stick them back on the scope itself, like you see we have here on the objective bell of this scope. So you can stick them on there to hang on to them until next time, or the kit comes in this nice heavy-duty plastic Ziploc bag. You can just stick the labels on the outside of the Ziploc bag and you'll be good to go until next time. They also come in this nice heavy-duty cardboard sleeve. I don't know if I want to take this to the range. It usually rains on me and that would probably turn into a mess fairly quickly if you didn't have it waterproofed. But being able to stick them back on the outside of this bag, or if you have a hardcover data book like the one I have here, you could stick them on the inside of your data book and you'll be good to go until you need to peel them off next time. They do stick and peel off quite a number of times. As I said, the one that's on here, I've been playing with unsticking and resticking it just to see, and after I've probably done it about 10 times now, it still sticks on very well. The edge has started to lift from where I picked my thumbnail underneath it to pull it off. So you need to be aware of that. Be careful when you pull them off that you don't nick or twist or tear an edge, because that can give you problems if you're peeling them off and putting them on each time. However, they do give you quite a few labels in a kit. The kit comes with 6 different sets of stickers, or 6 different sets of labels, and you get 2 labels on each set. So that's a total of 12 labels. Now, if you can have 6 different sets of density altitude labels if you want, or you can add them together and have multiples of one density altitude. Now, they recommend that you do these labels based on density altitude. The reason is density altitude is one number that you have to worry about. You look at that number and then you determine which label will closely match the density altitude that you are currently at, and you go. You can have them do them in barometric pressure, temperature, and altitude if you wish, but then you're going to run into a problem where you go, okay, well, my temperature's higher than this label is, but my barometric pressure is lower, and it's going to require some math to figure out which label is the correct one. So I suggest that when you order them, you go ahead and follow their recommendations and use density altitude to label them. Each of the labels has the density altitude printed on it, so it only takes a glance to see which label is currently on your scope. And when you look at the labels that are in your bag, you can quickly determine which ones you need to go on. And as I said, you can stick one on the bell here, so if you need to change quickly in the field or while you're on the firing line, you can do so. It's a very innovative product, and they actually thought about a couple of different things on it. As I mentioned earlier, the bottom numbers in bold, those are your yard line indicators. So if you want to dial, or if you want to hit a target at 500 yards, you just dial to 5 on the bold bottom numbers. If you come up to the top, they have numbers marked still in mils. So if you still want to use the mil scale on your scope, you can. It's not covered up, it's there so that you can use it. If you look at the numbers that are in the box on the side of it, those are your close range dope. So if you have to engage under 100 yards inside your zero, then you have those marks to indicate where your dope setting is going to be for close range. Very nice, very well thought out. Now, the labels are $49.95 for them to input your dope and lay out the labels. They then charge another $49.95 to print the labels, so you're just under $100 for your first set of labels. However, if you choose to reorder labels, they will only charge you the printing fee, the $49.95, after that. So it's not that bad of a deal when you think about how much it actually costs to get turrets engraved and to carry multiple turrets. So bear that in mind when you're evaluating what price point these are set at. Now, because the labels are not cheap, there is the fear of damaging the labels or screwing up a couple when you go to put them on for the first time. Well, Taskforce 4 has thought about that, and they include a pair of practice labels for you to put on. So you can give the practice labels a try, and if you screw up the practice labels, you're not out anything. Additionally, you can use the practice labels to determine how many times you can peel and reapply the labels in your conditions before you start to lose the adhesive on the back of them. Overall, I think this is a really well thought out product, and if you really like the BDC feature that you see on some of the scopes out there, this is a way to add it to your scope or to give it a try without an incredibly huge cash outlay. If you'd like to know if the DIALandSHOOT labels are available for your scope, go ahead and head over to DIALandSHOOT.com and take a look at the list of scopes that they already have on the site. If your scope is not listed, please contact them. They may already have your scope in the works, or it may be a simple matter of just sending your turret in to them so that they can set up the labels for your specific scope. If you decide to pick up a set, please let them know where you heard about them. And if you like the video, make sure you click that thumbs up button. If you've got a comment for us, please put it in the comment section below or send it to us on Facebook or Twitter. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, please click that subscription button. It doesn't cost you anything, it doesn't hurt, and we won't send you any junk mail. YouTube will let you know when we release new videos so you can get on them as soon as they come out. Until next time, get out and shoot!